Xmen 2 Electric Bugaloo.
Hey.
Na, 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 na. Welcome back to Home Brew with the Movies. This is Taylor.
This is Phil.
And we are so excited to get started with Xmen 2 Electric Bugaloo.
That's not what it was.
Are you sure?
I mean, it was, but now I want it. I don't know. Can we? All right, call Fox. Tell them they named their movie wrong.
Yeah.
Because they went with X2 Xmen United, which
was it Xmen X2
Xmen United. I don't. So I think the title went through like 3 different changes.
Oh, okay.
So that wasn't confusing at all. Because I remember I had a poster when I was a kid that said Xmen 2 United or something like that. It had like a different subtitle, but had the men up in the X2. So I don't know why. I don't know why that happened.
Did you mention there was a video game too?
Yeah.
On GameCube?
X2 Xmen United Wolverine.
Oh. Just to give it a little extra flair.
Yeah, well, because it was only following Wolverine, obviously.
Gotcha.
So this is us doing our X-Men review series. We did X-Men last week. Mm-hmm. We did X2 Electric Bugaloo this week. Right? That's what it is?
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
And as we watch each one, we're going to talk about them. We're going to break them down scene by scene, talk about what we liked, what we didn't like.
We're going to scrap the whole attempted summary bit
that
we tried to do for the first one.
Yeah, and that was honestly only an idea only found in one sentence. So Easter egg hunt, find out where that was. And we are going to, at the end of each episode, rank where it stands in the X-Men series. Right now, we have the XCU number 1, X-Men 2000.
Yep. And
this week, we're talking about the sequel to that. X-Men 2, X2, X-Men United Electric Bugaloo.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
I know, right? This was released in 2003.
Okay.
Had a budget of, I want to say, $125 million.
Oh, we had the list.
It was about there, trust me. And then it had a box office.
It was significantly more.
About $50 million. I think it was $75 million for the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Had a box office of $406 million.
Okay, that was more too. That was double, I think.
Wasn't
it $250 million?
It was either $250 or $300 for the first one.
$250.
However, to gauge that with another 2003 popular release, do you know what I'm going to use?
What are you going to use, Phil?
Return of the King.
Ooh.
Yeah. Do you know what the budget for that was?
I do not.
$94 million.
What did you say it was for X-Men 2?
$125 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much did Return of the King make?
Probably billions. It probably made Avatar money.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, can we do a Lord of the Rings review?
Yeah.
And just cry the whole time?
We
don't need to review it. We can just cry. 100%. 10/10. 5 stars.
Welcome back to Taylor and Phil Cry while watching Lord of the Rings.
Don't go where I can't follow.
Oh boy. Well, that's a good series.
Oh, you are Philbo Baggins,
we're doing
right?
this. I am a Philbo Swaggins.
Oh,
Thank you.
So sorry.
Don't you ever disrespect me like that in my home again. Anyways, we're talking about X-Men 2.
We are.
So, up front, let's front load it with what did you think?
First impressions. I significantly better than the first one, I thought. Still had the sweet 2000s graphics.
It did,
intro. I was like,
it started off so much better because it did that.
Roots.
There was this little like cosmic thing where like it had like an I don't know, but like there was the, what do you call it, the like star lines?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, there was like a outline of like the Orion's belt kind of thing.
Okay.
But I was making up a guy.
Constellations.
Thank you so much. Yes, it is constellations. And on the forehead there was a little like bright star, and it started zooming in towards that. And I was like, that was a really nice, simple, fancy loading, hard cut into the exact same thing we had in the first one.
Yes.
But a new voiceover by Patrick Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Sir Patrick Stewart.
Sir Pat, yeah. Show some goddamn respect. Yeah, so overall, I liked it a lot. I felt the length after a while.
Oh, for sure.
And it held my attention better, but it's still like, I don't know. I still like, there's parts where I was just trying not to check out, you know?
Yeah. The thing that I think this one did so much better is its scenes flowed a lot better. You know what I mean? And in a way that I think they were still jumbled around a bit, but it wasn't we stayed on one place for too long. But at this one, we almost didn't say enough times for places. You know what I mean? But I can also tell this one kept me much more engaged because I took far less notes. There was just bullet points where I had to like write down like, oh, Mystique infiltrates, instead of breaking down each scene what I thought. Because before I would just check out and just write down whatever was just said and make fun of it. You know what I mean?
Basically, yeah.
So this one having me focus so much more. I actually have like cool Easter egg / theory things in here, not just Rogue didn't do this. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's I did look more into this one as a whole, which it made me feel better about the movie. However, X-Men 1 I liked a lot. We talked about it, and I was like, I don't like that much.
Yep. So I guess we'll see for the breakdown.
So I'm excited to see which way this goes, because we could talk about this and be like, you know what, that was a good ass movie. However, there was a part where I could tell they were going into the third act, so I paused it to go to the bathroom. That was the first time, because I usually don't pause things in the middle of it, because I like to just kind of see how the movie flows.
Right.
You know what I mean? Same at theaters, I try not to get up to go to the bathroom, because when I don't miss anything, but also I want to just kind of see it all as one experience.
Feel it in the moment.
And that one I was like, okay, I'll try to wait it out. And I was like, I can't. They're building up for the third act. That's probably a good break. Paused it.
When was that? What moment?
So that was right when they got to Alkali Base. And they were like, all right, we'll send a Mystique, not Wolverine. Spoiler alert. We are talking about all this, by the way. So
you know, if you haven't watched it, go check it out.
And I paused it, and it still had an hour left. And I was like, oof.
Yeah. Oof, indeed.
Yeah. And I think it was 2 hours and 20 minutes or so.
Is that how long it was?
It was above.
It had no right to be that long.
It was above 2. And
I feel like all movies are that length now, but at that time they were not.
Yeah, well, I mean that's funny because it's only a half hour more than the first one, but I felt it so hard.
Oh my god, can you imagine if the first one was that long?
See,
we wouldn't be doing this because we couldn't get through it.
it'd be dead before it got off the ground. So let's get into the scene thing. So we talked about the opening credits.
Intro. We had a nice little
the 20th Century Fogo.
Yes, I made sure to. I said nice callback to the X fade out.
Hey,
nice.
I don't know why I love that so much.
I hope they do it for the third one. I hope they do it for all.
I hope it stays. I'm not sure if it does or not. I actually don't think I ever noticed it on the ones I had seen previously. So I'm excited to see if it's a mainstay or.
Yeah, I hope they don't get rid of it just for sake of cool factor
nice
or something. Yeah, I like it. So we start out at the White House for this film.
Loved that scene.
Yeah.
The Nightcrawler thing. Oh my god, I liked that a lot.
The only thing that was like him jumping off the walls, I was like, that is so not parkour. It was a little the teleportation was cool. I liked the imagery for that. But
there was times he hung in places a little bit too long.
Yeah, that was funny. And then I saw a close up of his face, and I was like, "Oh, it's Alan Cummings." You know, of Spy Kids fame.
Wait, who is it?
Alan Cummings.
Who was he in Spy Kids? Back up, rewind.
He was like the main villain in at least the first one.
Oh my god, was he
the guy
really?
in like the flowy suit who was
he
kind
was,
of like
what is it? Zoop Floop? He was Floop?
I can't remember his name.
Wasn't it? Was it Floop as a man?
But I looked it up because I was like, who is that? He's so familiar. I was like, Alan
That's
Cummings.
Incredible.
Of Spy Kids fame.
That's incredible. Oh boy.
Yeah.
So we get him. He jumps into the Oval Office, tackles him, goes to stab him, gets shot by a guy who does not make nearly enough money. I'm guessing.
Well, he's Secret Service. He actually probably does.
I don't have any idea what their salary is like.
Probably a lot.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
That's fair.
They have to risk their lives for
I wouldn't be surprised to find out they don't make that much, though. You know what I mean?
Don't think they would take the job if they didn't.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do to support your family. You know what I mean?
All right. Next episode, we'll let you know how much the Secret Service make.
We'll look into it. We'll get the Kirk reception of Secret Service workers.
Speaking of, last one we talked about wanting to look into more Mystique powers. But I think I just want to like ride along the movies and see what.
You just want to see how Phil dissolves with this?
Yeah, I do. Because we have some opinions about her in this movie. And then the other thing I was going to say was critical reception of the first movie, which was about 80% critics and audience scores, at least on Rotten Tomatoes.
You're using Rotten Tomatoes? Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes, yeah. I'm also excited this last minute, and I didn't have enough time to check. Why'd
you break the illusion?
Because I want to be real with our fans, Phil. Yeah. I want to be real with you guys. So,
Trying to be real with the homies, you know.
And then I looked at the scores for all the other ones, and I was like, "Oh boy, we are in for a wild ride here."
What was this one? Or do you want to wait till the end?
This one I think was about the same, a little bit higher,
A little higher than
a little higher. I think 86 or something.
Okay.
I was surprised about how high the first one was. Honestly, I'd give it like a 70 something on Rotten Tomatoes, but it was in the 80s.
Oh, yeah. I mean, also I think for older movies, I don't know if Rotten Tomatoes was a thing back then, so that might just be like people retrospective kind of thing.
That's true.
I don't know if that's fact or not. Don't.
So I guess we gotta look into when Rotten Tomatoes started too.
Yeah,
all
just
right.
Put that on your list of things I want you to do in between each episode.
Sounds good. So after basically what happens is he tries to assassinate the president.
Yep.
The guy shoots him, and then.
Do we cut to Wolverine or do we cut to
Wolverine.
the museum?
We go to Alaska or wherever the hell.
It was Alaska because it was Alkali base. It's under whatever lake in Alaska.
I've never heard of that before. Alkali.
That might be made up.
I think it is.
Also, I looked into it. The tip jar scene absolutely had Canadian tip money in it.
Really?
Yeah. Also, I don't know why I didn't just use this. The title card, when it comes up as Rogue drives up, says like Northern Alberta, Canada.
We're very observant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
well, I mean,
Alaska.
I watched this like 3 days ago. You watched it like the night before, so I think one of us is more hot water than the other. Personally, but
I have no defense. So we're in Alaska, and then a white wolf appears and obviously knows his brethren, the Wolverine.
Let me ask you, was it supposed to be So there's a trend with this series that I didn't know got this like aggressive right away, but there's a lot of times where they pretend like a Wolverine is a wolf.
Yeah, the same thing, Phil.
I don't know, because a Wolverine's like a rodent thing, isn't it?
The exact same thing. Yes, it is like a rodent.
Okay, I was like, wait, am I wrong?
No,
I was hold on, back up, we're cutting this.
It looks like a sloth, red panda, small bear, ferret.
Does that look as adorable as it sounds in my head?
It's pretty cute.
Okay.
I like it. But we're like, what if a Wolverine showed up instead of a wolf?
That just climbs out in Alaska?
It scurries ahead. I think there are Wolverines up there, actually.
Are there?
I think so.
Okay.
Don't fact check me on this.
Okay.
So the wolf knows his brother and the Wolverine.
Yeah, they do that like upward nod of respect to each other.
Hey bro, come follow me. I got something to show you.
He's like, yo dude, check out these ruins.
So he sees the sign for the base, I think, and it's Alkali Lake, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, there's nothing here. Guess we're all good now.
Remember the first movie where he had like super scent and hearing powers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, he had, yeah, no.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
You think he could have smelled, oh wait, no, they've been using 10 feet over there as their entrance.
Yeah. Well, he has them later in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But not right now when it'd be really convenient to find out that like...
Yeah.
Although I don't know if he would have gone back and stuff, because like he was gonna leave later on in the mansion. He was like, I might go see what Striker up to. I feel cute today, IDK. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened if he found Striker here.
That would be an interesting development, because Striker was pretty manipulative of him before, and was like, I could definitely see him being tempted into like staying with him or something, manipulated into it.
For the record, Wolverine's here. Way better. Or Wolverine's hair this time. I liked it a lot better.
Did you? Because I just thought it was more distinctive.
I don't think it's good yet, but I think they tried harder with this one to make it look natural.
Yeah.
It doesn't look natural yet, but I think they're moving in the right direction.
Oof. Or woof, as Wolverine would say.
You're like, oh, woo, you know what I mean, guys?
Woo! And then we get this solid transition of Wolverine's face.
Oh, where it goes into like the prehistoric display
of a wolf in the museum, just to
a little mutant
pound in that comparison.
You know, he's also like those Wolverine.
So I'm a big fan of that.
Okay, so this is what I wanted to. This is one of the things I wrote down.
Okay.
Is Jean starts freaking out with her telekinesis powers, right?
Yeah. One
of the things she hears is to the shelter. And that was what one of the Secret Service guys yelled to the president.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's the same sound clip or if I misheard it, but I thought that was cool and wrote it down. Like her powers getting that like incredible that it kind of like flashes through.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't catch that. That's cool.
Yeah, well, it's because you're not a hardcore devoted fan like I am. I try to pick up these details.
You're right. Just like you picked up the little tag for Alberta, Canada in the first movie.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Just like that.
So, also in the museum, we noticed that Halle Berry playing Storm, they just decided to scrap the accent they had for 2 scenes in the first one.
It was 2 to 4 in the first one, and then it fell out of place. This one, they're like, we're good.
Yeah. I mean, in this moment, I was like, I'm okay with the inconsistency. Thankful for the consistent inconsistency.
Yeah, I mean,
these movies.
I don't know. I'd rather they didn't try than forget in 4 or 5 scenes.
Yeah, no, for sure. Still, they never fail me.
I feel like her hair did not get better.
What?
Storm's hair? It did not get better.
Oh my god. So I literally wrote down, I said, because all of their hair and outfits changed and everything. Literally everyone, even Scott's.
Yeah, even Famke Janssen.
I was like, they all unlocked new skins. I liked her new wig a lot better than the first movie.
Yeah.
I did.
I mean, it just didn't do it for me. I'm sorry. It probably is better. It's just not where I'd love it to be.
Is it better in the third movie? Do we know?
I don't know. You know what? I think
that's the most important part of these movies, really.
I think the third movie she has very short hair. I think she just goes back to Halle Berry hair, Swordfish style.
Oh, maybe Swordfish style.
I'm sorry, that's from the movie Swordfish, not a hairstyle.
I haven't heard of that one.
So, there's that little kid who sees the girl eating ice cream, and then she sticks her tongue out at him, and then the little boy sits out a
forked tongue,
a little salamander tongue. Yeah, he's just a thing. And then the Storm's like, dude, knock it off.
Who is that kid? Do we know anything about him? Just a
weird
little freak
in the running with worse superpowers with another kid that I'll bring up later.
Oh, okay. Also,
Famke Janssen.
Famke was in the Taken series.
Was she?
Yes, she was the wife.
Oh.
Yep.
She was the one who kept letting her daughter get taked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taked.
So
she was like, yes, you and your best friend can go to Europe and not have any idea what you're doing. This
is something that I'm going to find funny that nobody else is. I always wanted there to be a fourth one. Call it Taken for Granted.
Oh.
Where he's just sitting at home for an hour and a half watching TV while his phone is ringing next to him. And he's like, no, told you not to go over there. He's like, I'm not going to bail you out this time.
Oh my God.
And detectives are calling him and coming through. He's like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Sorry, guys.
Oh my goodness.
I think that'd be the conclusion the series needs. Is listen.
He's done with your shit.
Just because you have a super soldier dad doesn't mean you be irresponsible when you go to other countries.
Yeah, don't take advantage.
You know what I mean? Don't
take
him for granted.
Oh, Phil.
I know. I'm in the wrong business.
Thank you. I know you are. And then, so what happens?
Well, we go to the cafeteria where I don't know who instigated what, but a couple of shitters are being shitters.
Sounds like the non-mutant teenagers did it.
Oh, the Homo sapiens.
The Homo sapiens. So you guys know that'll never escape us. The Homo sapiens started it, and they were bullying them for a smoke because
they were like, "You may have a light," and the guy's
to
like, "No." I feel like if I asked me for a light and they're like, "No," I'd be like, "That's fair. I don't know you like that."
Yeah, and I would walk away and maybe go buy one.
Yeah,
and also not do it in a museum.
Well, that was a different time.
2003.
I think you could still smoke inside back then.
I don't think you could in museums.
I mean, they were in the smoking section.
Were they?
Yeah.
In the cafeteria?
Did you see the top Rogue was wearing? They better have been.
God.
I'm sorry. I don't even remember what she was wearing. It might have just been a turtleneck. I don't even know.
Either way, those kids are too young to be smoking.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if that's true.
That's what I'm saying. So then Pyromancer boy has a freak out.
Another thing with inconsistent powers, there's that part where he's like, I can only control the flame, I can't create it. But he also takes these massive fireballs and just whips them at places and makes cars catch on fire and stuff. Can he amplify it also?
I think he can amplify it. But I think he'll also find out that he can create fire because it's the whole...
Well, the spark is inside him the whole time. It only took one red helmet wearing guy to show it to him.
Yeah. So, I think he can amplify it because, oxygen and fire. And
that's fair. Yeah.
Can control it that way.
So the kid lights it, takes a drag, and then Pyro's like, oh, you forgot this, and lights his shirt on fire.
Yeah. And then Bobby Iceman.
Bobby Iceman.
Bobby Iceman goes and...
Yeah, he, like, moves his hand, and he's like... And it, like, frosts the guy. And
then he, you know...
Yeah.
Elsa's all over the place, and then...
And then he time stops. Which I think is going to be important later. Because that can come up at a couple important times, but... No, we'll just save it for the end.
Oh, okay.
Professor X freezes everybody, and he's
like... Yeah, but I love the moment where they freeze, because you see... They didn't, like, use special effects for this.
No, everybody just stops.
They just make every extra stuff.
Okay, so... Little Phil... TM had this on DVD and listened to the commentary because I'm a little nerd back then, right? Uh-huh. And I guess for that part, they used mimes as extras.
No,
they didn't just freeze everybody.
Really?
They used people with like mime training that were going to be like in the shots.
Well, some of them were not good mimes.
I know. I don't think they could afford to have everybody as a mime. I don't know if mimes cost more than extras.
Well, the main guy I saw when they first started freezing, like, kept going forward and
yeah,
stopped. In a moment, I was like, "Everybody freeze!"
So he,
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So Professor X rolls out and he is like, "Next time you feel like showing off, don't." And I'm like, "Yeah, get him," because he was all teacher on him. Mm-hmm.
Do you know that Xavier is like the spokes on his wheelchair, or just an X?
The X, yeah.
Yeah. I just noticed that this movie.
It's so bougie.
I was like, really?
Am I using that phrase right?
We gotta make a statement. You are, yeah.
Nice.
Bougie.
Yeah, high five me.
Ooh.
Thanks. And then I think we cut back to Stryker investigating the Oval Office, right?
Don't lecture me about war.
Because we have Mystique as Kelly is like there, and she's like,
yeah, Senator
"Oh,
Kelly.
So we're starting a war." Or he's like, "I don't want to know if you want to go into war with all these people."
Because he was like, "I want to go visit Magneto in prison," and he's like, "You can't."
He's like, "Don't."
No. He's like, "Well, there's a war brewing," and he's like, "Don't you lecture me about war.
I was flying black helicopters, and now we were sucking on your mama's teeth."
Oh, and that's when I fell in love with William Stryker.
Yeah, I like his actor a lot. I think he's done a lot of like
so ridiculous,
bit parts.
Though. Yeah, it was a bit part for sure.
No, I mean like he does a lot of like I think all of his other roles were like, oh, that guy, if that makes sense. Like I think he was the girl's dad in The Ring. I think he was in Super Troopers. I think he was the captain. Yeah. But he has a lot of like, oh, that guy roles.
I see.
Yeah.
He's such a caricature though.
He was also in Long Kiss Goodnight, which is a really
what?
Long Kiss Goodnight with Samuel Jackson and Gina Davis.
I don't know what that is.
I like it.
Okay.
But I also know that that's a movie that people are like, that's not that good. I'm like, yeah, it is.
There's a lot of movies I have like that.
Yeah.
So maybe I could appreciate it.
And then every movie I tell you to watch, you're like, Phil, this movie sucks. I'm like, let's watch Xmen. And you're like, why?
Hey, we both like Repo the Genetic Opera.
It's
so
a good movie. What
that says about us.
And segue. So we have videos up for Don't Knock Twice. And there's a part where Morgan's like, didn't I tell you not to go outside? And I was like, if Taylor was here, I'd be saying so many things.
Didn't I tell you not to go out? Didn't I? You did. You did. Yeah. So Stryker is also. I wrote down a quote from the first movie here, and we'll get to that in a second. Okay.
But they did like a satellite pass over, and there's like a giant jet underneath the basketball court, apparently, outside of this guy's mansion.
Obviously.
Yeah, and I wrote down a quote from Cyclops that says, "If they can detect us, they deserve to catch us."
Oh yeah.
And later on, when there's 2 missiles coming at them out of nowhere, if they can detect us, they deserve to catch us.
Okay.
I feel like maybe we should have done something. Yeah. Maybe actually put in countermeasures instead of just being cocky about it.
That's ridiculous, Phil.
Sorry, my bad. So he's like, I want to do a raid on the school and like capture mutants, and then the president's like, last thing we need is a dead mutant on the 6 o'clock news.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then Senator Kelly's like, oh, let me see Eric, and Stryker's like, that's not gonna happen. You can't go see him.
No.
That's just not how that works. You're some random senator. You can't go see the prisoner. So another thing I want to bring up. Mystique has been Senator Kelly and other people for some time now. Right? Uh-huh. What about his family that doesn't ever see him?
Also, what I thought about
how
is she
busy
pretending to
senators
be in
have to be?
His family?
You know what I mean? Like, did he go home and she's like, "How was work?" And he's like, "You don't want to hear about it. I had to deal with this Stryker guy, and he won't let me see my friend Eric Lynch."
I like to think that she does impersonate him and like go home to his family, tuck his kids in at night, go to bed with his wife.
Good night, Moon, and he goes in the bedroom and she's like, "How are you?" And he's like, "Good, but I mean, duck again." She's like, "Oh, I'm just trying my best." He's like, "He doesn't look like it."
Duck again. Chicken again. Oh, man, it's chicken.
So there's that whole headcanon.
I believe.
And then we have Wolverine getting back to the mansion, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Logan.
There's that little cute scene where Bobby's like, let's make out, and Colossus and that other weird kid are like making fun of them wanting to kiss.
Yeah.
Colossus looks like 25. I don't know what. I don't know why he's like, look at these nerds. Look at us fellow kids trying to get in each other's pants.
Fellow children.
And then they're about to kiss, and she's like, "I don't want to hurt you." And he's like, "You can't hurt me. I'm invincible. I'm made of ice. I'm Bobby Iceman."
I'm Bobby Iceman.
And,
so they don't kiss,
right? Because Logan walks in, she's like, "Logan."
And
then she runs over there, and he's like, "How you doing, kid?" And she's like, "Good. This is Bobby." And he goes,
Bobby tries to flex on
he like flexes
Wolverine.
on Wolverine and like tries to like hard handshake. Why? And then she's like, "This is Bobby." He's like, "I'm her boyfriend." It's like, okay, calm down, kid.
Seriously,
if it didn't push Scott
weird
back,
flex, but okay.
If Scott couldn't get him off of Jean, you're not gonna get him off of Rogue.
Ew. Don't say that ever again.
I'm just saying, I don't want that relationship, but I mean, like,
apparently Bobby thinks it's happening.
Learn your place, Bobby.
Bobby was also confused about the first movie's intentions.
Yeah.
About what they wanted for.
Oh yeah, there's that scene where he's like, I mean, I've seen the way you look at Miss Gray.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, have you?
Have you?
Because an entire audience has. They didn't see the way I look at Jean.
They don't stop pushing the weird Rogue and Wolverine narrative later, though. With the whole Mystique.
Well, that was Mystique just being weird.
No, but I don't know. Wolverine got a weird look about it. All right, we'll talk about it.
We'll get there. All
right.
We'll get there.
And then, so once he sees Jean, they all get there, and then, like, Storm is there, and Scott's there or something.
And she's wearing an outfit that's not appropriate for a school teacher to be wearing.
No, but then as soon as Jean gets there and they talk, they're like, "Oh, this is our cue to leave. We'll leave you two alone."
Yeah, we'll leave you two little lovebirds alone. And Scott's like, should I go?
And they're both like, "Yeah,
they're like,
probably."
I mean, maybe, probably.
They just all sense the love and connection between Logan and Jean.
So Storm comes downstairs and she's like, "Oh, good, we need a babysitter."
Yep.
Oh, we forgot this part. So Professor X is like, there's a mutant trying to kill him, so we're trying to get out of here. Mm-hmm. Right? Or is that later?
I think that's later.
We didn't miss a scene, guys. That's okay. So
we're good. We're in the clear.
Storm comes down. She's like, "Oh, we need a babysitter," and Wolverine's like, "I don't watch kids. I watch pups because I'm a wolf." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we know. That's why we call you Wolverine." Scott comes up.
He watches
after
the little pups anyway.
Jean and Logan have a really weird moment where I think they're still trying to flirt, but it doesn't seem that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Apparently they're flirting. That
whole relationship is so bad. Like,
we'll get there.
We'll get there. It climaxes later, but
gross.
Not like that.
Gross.
It does. I mean, Logan wishes. You know what I mean? High five me again. That one was real that time. Not the other one's fake. Oh no.
You made me.
Microphone secrets. So Scott comes downstairs and they're like, "Oh no!" They do that like we were infidelity thing again, which bothers me because
where they're like,
"Oh hey, catching up as old friends," and Scott's like, "Sup guys?" And then Logan like runs across the room and like he's like, "Well, I was over here the whole time." And
we had the door open the whole time, Mom.
Scott's like, "If you close this door again, I'm going to take it." So they start leaving, and then Scott's like, "Welcome back." Or he says something more passive, but it's like, "Oh, hey, you decided to roll back in." I don't remember what he says. Wolverine's like, "Oh, your bike's empty."
Throws him the keys.
Tosses the keys, and Scott catches me. He's like, "Fill it up." And tosses it back.
It was kind of a cute moment.
It was.
I kind of liked it.
It was one where I'm like, I'm excited to see how they develop this love triangle in this movie.
And then?
They don't.
They don't. So then we go forward from there, right? Pretty much to Magneto prison?
Yeah, we see Maggie in prison. Mm-hmm. And then the Striker rolls up.
He got stabbed. Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
My note was just, oh, what the hell?
Well, there was that guard that came up and he was like, "Hey, what's up?" And then Magneto's like, "I don't like you, man. Stop it." And then the guy's like flexing on him. I don't know. I felt really bad for Magneto in this part.
I did too. I was like, and he like holds him down. He's like shaking and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like,
he was just like old man shaking.
I know. I was like, Ian McKellen, no.
It's like when your grandpa would like try to get out of the couch, and you're like, "No, it's okay." So Striker comes in. I'd like to point out that he's wearing glasses that absolutely have metal for the frames. Just
should have gotten special glasses.
Just put on those like those weird like wrap safety frames that are like just plastic. Just put those on.
Yeah. Do you need to see when you're stabbing someone with a really
no? There's a bullseye the size of a quarter. Just oh boy.
Oh boy.
So Striker's in there and they're like shooting the junk a little bit, and then the guard just like cracks him with the little not metal bat, and then they're just done. And he starts like putting the was it an injection or like a little pool of the?
It was an injection. Yeah.
Was it okay? Because I know some people he just puts a little dollop on like the back of their neck, right?
I think it was an injection straight up. Yeah.
All right.
What's in that again? I guess we'll talk about it later, but like.
So his son secretes brain juice. I don't know.
Jason.
Jason.
That's not my son anymore. That was all very sad.
I gotta talk about that later.
Yeah.
So so he mind controls him and gets all this information about
that's
the
right.
Xmansion.
And then he asks him about the cerebro.
He's like, tell me about cerebro.
Cerebro.
He's like, tell me about syrup, bro. And they're like, well, bro. So.
And then we go to Cerebro.
We do.
Yeah.
It's gotten an upgrade this time because now it uses fancy Christmas lights instead of like. Also, there are 5 mutants in Canada.
5 whole mutants.
They're like U.S. totally lit up. Mexico has like a decent spot ring. Europe is like, yeah, we have mutants over here too. Canada's like a couple.
They keep them out of there, like as they should.
Well, it's because that one bartender keeps going to hospitals. He's like, I know what you are. So we go. Yeah, so then that's when he finds the mutant because he stops. He says he can finally track him, and he's like, he finally settles down. He's at this place in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then he sends Gene and Storm to go check it out. He's like, take the jet.
Oh, yeah.
And toss him the keys, and he's like, it's empty. And they're like, then fill it up. That's not what happens.
The thing doesn't even have keys.
They tell Logan they need a babysitter, and he's like, yeah, whatever. And then Professor X takes Cyclops to go see Eric. Right?
Does he?
Yeah, because he thinks he orchestrated Nightcrawler to do the mutant attack.
Don't they? They don't go to Magneto prison until way later, I don't think.
Are you sure?
I don't have
So why isn't Sorclops? Oh boy. So why isn't Cyclops?
Because they go through Mystique as Yuriko before then. She's like pretending to be the servant. And
they
then
do all that first?
They go to the ancient Gothic house church thing that Nightcrawler's hiding at.
Yeah. So where do Professor X and Cyclops go? Don't they disappear for a bit?
I think they do. I think they go to the prison, but I don't think they do a scene for it till...
Okay, but they leave for it.
Are you talking about when they're like spliced between the attack at the school?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's way later.
So Cyclops and Xavier are leaving to go to the prison to meet up with Eric. But we don't know... I don't think we see them again until after...
No, it doesn't get there until a couple
scenes
because Mystique then impersonates William Stryker's like assistant.
Yeah.
Yuriko.
Yeah. The girl with the cracky knuckles.
We don't... Spoilers?
No, we saw that in the White House.
Cracky knuckles,
where he stands there and he's like...
Oh, yeah. And we're like, that's weird. Probably doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, and it's like, man, they probably didn't have to pass 5 metal detectors to get that close to the Oval Office.
Yeah, that's...
But hey.
Wow.
But hey.
I didn't even think about that.
But hey, we're just here having fun, folks.
Yeah.
So Mystique goes as
There's
Yuriko.
some tense music in this scene.
Yeah.
Like,
I meant to talk about that. I really like
cool.
Mystique's score this time as opposed to the first one.
Oh my god.
Now it's all more like fantastical, like the in it instead of like the from the first one.
Well, this one was like kind of like it was like Kill Bill like music.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, I'm tense and ready for action.
So she goes downstairs, she passes the janitor, she goes in there and passes what I'm assuming is an entire Easter egg list of every mutant name.
Probably.
If I had to guess. There was just so many names that like jumped out, like the Remy LeBeau stuff is Gambit. Like I recognized all that stuff. But I didn't take time to like look at any of them. I'm just sure that every single mutant was there.
Probably.
And she finds out that they're making a second Death Star.
Yep. An exact replica.
And then, so do me a favor. Time out real fast.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Mystique right now as far as her power continuity goes? Because I was talking a lot of trash last one. I want to see where you're at before I go into this.
Well, we see her turn into Yuriko, and then the janitor.
Let's talk about first movie coming into this one. So at the end of the first movie, how'd you feel about her powers?
Slightly inconsistent.
Okay.
But mostly just turning into people. That's fine.
Just people?
Oh, and inanimate objects. That's right.
Okay. Because she's into the Statue of Liberty for a little bit, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Yuriko, the real one, comes downstairs, goes in the office, and she's the janitor.
Yeah.
Why didn't she just turn into a trash can or a file cabinet?
I also had that.
Or an office chair.
Why is she ever worried about being found? Because she could just turn into a pencil, right?
Yeah.
Like...
Why would... Then she went to the janitor, who she knows Yuriko probably just passed.
Well, was the Statue of Liberty from the first one like life size? Like,
no, it was
not life
smaller.
size. I mean, like...
It was like 4 feet tall. Because they passed it on like a display.
So can she like...
Can
get
she?
rid of her mask?
Can she?
Does it just concentrate inside of her?
She turned herself into claws, and then Wolverine cut it, and she went... But that's it.
Oh, did she? I missed that.
Kind of.
Okay.
But then, like, when she turned back, what's on the floor? Are there 3 little claws, or just flabs of blue down there? What got cut off?
I don't know, Phil.
I don't either! I just want to know what her powers are.
Well, we won't. We'll never know. We're never going to know.
So we get to the church that Nightcrawler's hanging out in. And my note here says, Storm and Jean specifically do not sneak in.
No.
Because they just kick the door open with wind. And then Jean's like, come on down from there.
And he's like, no.
He's like,
get out.
He's like, ich bin my house. I don't know German.
Get out.
And then Storm's like, oh, he's a jumper.
Yep.
And then
lightning bolts
him, and then Jean grabs him.
A banister.
Why doesn't he just
teleport?
Why does he just go, oh, okay, I'm gonna go to Alaska, see what up to Rogue. You know what I mean?
Even if he go teleport outside of the building, just onto the roof, and then leave.
Yeah.
Does he stay because he's connected to the church? Is that the reason he's just staying there?
I don't know.
Not running away?
He could also just port behind them and snap somebody's neck.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well, he doesn't want to do that.
No, he doesn't. But we also just saw him dispatch like an entire army at the White House.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He could just take him out and then leave.
Yeah.
But he's nice. And he believes in peace and love.
Yes, but these people just broke into your house enough that you're yelling, hey, get out.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not really a fan. I got some problems with his powers, too.
Oh, good. Me too. We'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
So... They
befriend each other.
Yeah, Storm was like, hey, what up? Let's go talk to the professor. And he's like, who's the professor? And then Storm's like, someone who helps us or something like that. She's like, yo, we want to make sure you're taking care of... I don't remember what it is, but there's that whole thing. And then we come back to Wolverine in bed, right? Because isn't it like nights out at this point?
We don't... Well, first we see all the markings that are on him and everything, too.
Oh, I forgot about that, yeah.
Carvings on
and
him.
She's like, how many are there? And he was like, one for each of my sins. Or is that way later?
Yeah, no, that's what it was.
Is it? Okay.
He did them all himself and everything, and I was like, damn.
They're really well done.
Yeah. I was like, okay. And then he turns and we see the mark on the back of his neck.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Little striker pool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Striker pool. And I was like, ooh, same markings as Magneto. Ooh.
Little Maggie Bond he's got going on there.
Mm-hmm. And then, we do go back to the school. Yeah. He's having some spooky little nightmares.
Yeah. And this time he doesn't stab Rogue, which is a marked improvement from the first one.
Yeah. Wow.
Good for him. He's learning.
Good for him.
You know what I mean? He
just wakes up and encounters another awkward time with Bobby.
I love that scene, actually. When he goes downstairs. Oh, the kid who blinks and changes the channel? That's another runner-up for weirdest power.
I do like how... Because in the last movie, we don't really get we don't get anything really on Wolverine's backstory except for weird flashbacks.
Yeah.
And all we know is that he lost a bunch of his memory. So when this movie talks about the memory loss these mutants are experiencing, I was like,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice tie-in.
Ties all together. That's
good.
Little package. Yeah.
A little package.
A little package.
Yeah.
So he goes into the kitchen. Bobby's sitting there eating a bowl of ice cream or whatever. I don't know.
Yep.
He's a kid. Life is a nightmare.
And nobody in this place sleep.
He's like, you guys don't sleep in this
not.
place. That's the other thing too. Is he walks? He's like, "You're not gonna go to sleep." And the kid's like, "I don't sleep." And he keeps blinking. I don't remember what he talked like. It sounded something like that.
I like that he opens the fridge. Got any beer?
This is a school. There's soda over there, and he takes it out of the cupboard. I don't know why they didn't keep it in the fridge. That's weird to me. And then like he pops it off, and then Bobby like blows on it for him. I thought that was cool.
And I was like, bonding. But then it was like I did not like the splicing of these next scenes together. It was just weird cuts because this is like that was a weird moment to break away to me.
Because that could have lingered to be better.
Yeah. But immediately it just goes to Magneto's prison from there, where Cyclops and Charles go in there and start talking to Eric.
Yeah, and Eric is like, "Yo, I gotta tell you something." Xavier's like, "What up?" And then Eric is like, "I told him everything."
You should have killed me.
You should have killed me when you had the chance, Charles.
Then we learned about Jason Stryker.
Not yet.
No, we hear his name.
Oh yeah, because he's like
he was like their student.
Yeah, and he was like the boy you like.
Do you remember William Stryker?
Wasn't able to help. Yeah, something like that.
So we get like a taste.
Yeah. So just my note for this scene, and I should have taken more because you've already talked about more than I wrote down. But my note here is Cyclops has already done more in this movie than the first one.
Yep.
Next bullet point. Never mind.
What was that in regards to?
So Yuriko comes in.
Yeah.
And then Xavier's like, "Scott!" And then, the room starts flooding with gas. And then Scott turns and like blasts the one guy, right? And then they close the distance and I'm like, okay, so he's just done. And then he actually starts like fighting him off, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool."
Nice.
And then Yuriko comes in and just like slams him into the glass,
dispatches him.
Yeah, just knocks him out.
Dungeon rings.
But that's the same move that Toad took him out with in the Statue of Liberty. So maybe he's trying to just start like putting his arms up more.
Maybe to start blocking attacks.
No, just block it with your face, absorb the blow, pull it back at him.
Boom.
You know what I mean?
There you go. And then as soon as Charles he tells him he knows everything, goes back to the school. And that's when Wolverine and Bobby are bonding again.
Yeah. So, I very much like the school infiltration scene.
Yes,
I wish it hadn't cut away for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they also could have put that scene right before Wolverine wakes up. You know what I mean? To show that something's wrong, and then cut back to the scene, have it calm, and then it just kind of starts back up with the infiltration.
Yeah.
I thought that would have played a lot better pacing-wise.
I get that, yeah. I did like it, though. I liked the idea of, like, splicing these scenes together, but not...
There wasn't enough to splice together to make it a consistent thing.
Yeah, and there was no, like, big revelation in one of them to be impacting the other one. So, I don't know. I also wrote down, what did Yuriko even do to Cyclops? She, like, hit him once, and he was done.
So she jumped up, like, grabbed the wall, and, like, kicked him into it.
Yeah, but that was it.
Yeah. This is the same move Toad used.
He's taken worse. It reminds me of, like, Mystique hitting Senator Kelly with her legs in the first movie.
Well, that time she held his head steady with the left foot and then just like slapped the hell out of him with the right foot a couple times. She went to town on him with her feet.
They really like got some power moves in these movies. So you know that little kid with the glasses that gets like Blinky. Tranked the first time? I just thought this dude pulled out a fucking Glock.
Oh yeah, just pop out!
Smirks this kid. I was like,
oh! He like puts away the assault rifle and pulls out a giant pistol, and I was like, okay.
I was like, I respect this movie if it's about to go.
It just goes straight to kid murder.
But it does not, alas.
It does not.
It does not. It just tranks him.
Yeah, only tranks the kid.
Yeah.
What a bad movie.
Oh, and then Wolverine starts hearing things with that super Wolverine.
With that Wolverine heightened senses.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, that he didn't have earlier in the movie.
We
see Kitty Pryde, who's not Ellen Page yet.
I also wrote down that Kitty Pryde is still not Ellen Page.
I said not Ellen Page, no! So I guess it is the third movie.
Yeah. That scene where the guy walks in and then Wolverine's like, "Wrong house, bub," and like stabs him. Love that.
It took him so long to dispatch that one dude.
Well, that's because the girl was screaming at the same time. Remember, because that was like messing with everybody.
Was that before or after?
She started screaming, and that's when.
I thought it was before that he just took forever with this one dude.
That fight happened during the screaming. I don't know when it started.
Maybe
in regards to that fight, but I thought that was sweet. And then Black Ops Logan was so cool. I love cool. That. Like that part where he like stands by the corner, the guy comes down,
and he like
stabs him in the foot.
That was like I was like, oh, what's he doing? Oh, yeah. Who was that one kid that like turned into the metal?
That's Colossus.
Is that the guy from Deadpool?
Same character. I don't think that's the same like continuity or anything. But that's who that character is. Yeah.
Obviously, it's not the
Peter
same continuity.
Rasputin, I think is his name.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, it's the Deadpool guy. I was so excited. But then I was like, he can turn into a normal looking person too? Is that a...
I'm not sure.
Because Colossus in Deadpool was just the metal dude the whole time.
Yeah, I know. Here's the thing. I know the stuff I've read of the Chris Claremont stuff has it where Kitty Pryde and Colossus become a thing. Or she's like crushing on him really hard. I don't know if they ever become a thing. But I don't remember if he can like take off the metal bands or not.
He did in this one.
What's that?
He did in this one.
Yeah. I just don't know which one of those is more canon.
Gotcha. I gotcha. But that was exciting to me.
Yeah.
And then I said Logan's a bad babysitter.
I disagree.
Well, he lets it happen. I guess he like takes care of it pretty well.
Yeah.
But it's stranger danger, man. There's strangers in the house.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here's the thing, kids. Stranger danger is very real. A lot of us don't think it can happen to us, but it can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're sitting there blinking,
watching TV. Don't talk to strangers
TV.
on the internet, all right?
You talk to one guy, you find out you think you're talking to some 14-year-old kid, you find out it's a Wolverine on the other side of the screen.
It's just a cute little Wolverine. Oh, and then everyone escapes through like the secret room,
little
pretty
secret
much.
Passage, yeah.
And then Rogue, Bobby Iceman, and Pyro are running, and Rogue is like, "We have to go back. We can't leave him."
They're like, "They'll kill him." I don't think that's true. No. Man, that part where Wolverine's like, "You want to shoot me? Then shoot me."
Yeah, and that was really good. This scene was really good. Yeah. I really liked this. And then William Stryker comes out and he's like,
he's like, "Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
No, not yet."
He's like, "Not yet." He's not any Homer savior.
He's like, "Do you remember me?" Blah blah blah. And
I remember you.
Logan has his little uncertain moment.
Yeah.
And he like wants to go with him or something.
I did not like that scene where the frost wall came up and then they like touch hands
across.
I did not like that.
That was weird.
Because I got it as like,
he lives in you. He lives in me.
I got it as like Wolverine, like, oh man, my past was right there and I couldn't get it. And then he starts walking away and then Stryker puts up his hand. I didn't get that. Yeah. And then Wolverine comes back and like matches it up across the wall. Didn't get that either. I was not a fan of that.
Well, it seemed like William Stryker was actually like seeing how like thick the wall was or something, because he like knocked on it or something.
That was after Wolverine walked away.
I don't know.
He had a face on that was like yearning.
I don't know. They have a really weird relationship that we don't really get to see being explored.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's weird because it's one of those things where I'd love to see more of it, but I hate when they hint that there's so much more that we don't get to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it seems like set up that they don't know what they're doing with, not just like set up that they're going to pay off later. You know what I mean?
Because there's like a line between leaving things out for intrigue and for later like picking up.
Yeah.
But they just these movies either tell us literally everything that we don't need to know or not enough.
For example, the note I have that says exposition campfire.
Yep. Pretty much.
So he comes up, blows up the ice wall, but at that point they've already slipped into the secret tunnels.
Yep. And then they go to the garage and Pyro says,
I'm driving. Scott's car.
I'm driving. And Logan's like, not today.
Not this time, kid. Yep.
I was like, really? Come on. You really think you're gonna...
I mean, good for him for going for it.
I guess. You
know what I mean?
I really hate that kid.
Oh, Pyro's not great.
No.
So they
I'm sure he goes super evil in the third movie.
I mean,
who's to say?
Who's to say? So they start driving away, and then he's like, Storm and Jean are in Boston, and Bobby Drakes is like, my parents are in Boston, and Wolverine's like, we're going there then. We're just gonna go crash at your parents' place.
And Pyro also says, I don't like uncomfortable silences. Turns on the radio and it's...
Bye.
Thought that was important.
Yeah.
Yep, so they're going to Boston. And then...
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How long do you think it takes a jet to get from wherever they were to Boston?
I don't know where they were.
Well, they were at the X Mansion. I don't know where that is geographically, but...
Probably not that long.
Okay, but it takes them probably, let's say, 7 hours to drive to Boston.
Uh-huh.
Is that fair? Because
sure.
they leave at, like, what's probably midnight, 1 in.
Yeah.
There's a school raid, which probably takes up about an hour. And then they leave, and they head to Boston.
Yeah.
And
they get there, like, early afternoon.
I'd say it's early afternoon, right?
Yeah.
So probably around 10 hours.
Yeah.
I feel like the X-Jet could fly back to the mansion and then back to Boston in that time?
Yes.
Okay. So... They get back with Nightwing.
Nightcrawler. Nightwing's a different franchise.
They get back with Nightcrawler, and they're like, no one's picking up at the school. We still have a tracer active. It's at Boston. Where did they start going?
I have no idea.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's just that time discrepancy that I don't get.
Well, that happens all the time where I feel like I'm like, why didn't you go to this place? Where are you going right now? Like,
yeah, and then like Alkali Base, they're there in like 4 hours.
It's like the Game of Thrones time discrepancies.
I trust you, but I can't comment on that.
I know, Phil. I know. It's okay. It's popular. We can hashtag Game of Thrones now.
Hey.
Where do we go? We go to William Stryker.
Oh yeah, because he has Professor X now.
Oh, that's right. Because in the prison scene, they do the whole like there's stuff leaking in through the prison.
Yeah. That
causes them to go unconscious.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. So he has him now, and then he's like, "This is. Do you remember Jason or something like that?"
He's like, "This is my boy," and then,
but he's not actually my boy.
He's like, "This is that guy." Right. Oh no, he has the neural inhibitors on.
Yep.
To make it so he can't. So you stay out of here or whatever he says.
Mm-hmm.
The reverse Magneto helmet, I guess. So. Yeah, and then he brings in Jason, and Professor X is like, "Dude, that's your son," and he's like, "That's not my boy.
My son is dead.
My son's dead."
That was sad.
My son's been dead since you were sucking on your mama's teeth.
Don't talk to me about war.
Don't talk to me about it.
That was sad. Yeah. Honestly, I think that, I don't know why, but Jason Stryker has such a vivid image in my head. Like, I saw him, and I was like, I remember this from what I saw when I was... It's
because it's so desaturated
8
and
years
gritty
old.
And, like, disgusting.
Yeah.
And, like, the way it, like... What he did was disgusting, not, like, the way he looks. But, like, it...
But just, like, the look of him, I have such, like, it's stuck in my head. I don't know. I think it freaked me out when I was... younger.
Oh, for sure.
That's the only thing I remember about this movie. The only thing.
Yeah, and I don't think we start having any mind inception stuff yet, do we?
I think he starts trying to potentially, but nothing really.
Oh yeah, because the Jason Stop It parts, right?
Yeah, Jason Stop It.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's here or just sprinkled in throughout, so we'll
I think
come
that
back
was
to
here,
that
but yeah, it's major later. So then we go back to
Did
Boston.
you say Major League later?
Did I?
I hope. Because I'm going to start saying that.
Major League.
That is Major League later.
That's what I said. And I meant it. So we go back to Boston where Bobby's house is.
Yeah, and he watches Rogue change, which is a thing that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And he totally goes for it.
And I was like, you know what? Get it, Bobby.
Yeah,
Iceman.
I mean,
get it, Bobby Iceman.
Good for Bobby Iceman. And then Rogue goes for it back and almost kills him.
Yep.
Yeah, and then she's like, "I'm sorry," and he's like, "No, I'm good. I gotta get a sandwich or something."
So that's when she does the little ice breath thing you talked about before.
Yeah.
And like their first kiss, and she's like, "Whoa,
Mentos freshness."
That was kind of cute.
Yeah.
And then, but the thing is, like, that's about how long she kissed the other boy from the first movie, and he
got murked.
He got murked.
Yeah.
But Bobby Iceman's fine. He's made of ice.
Well, it's because
he's man of ice. Man of steel. You've heard of man of steel.
He's got ice in his veins.
Now you get ready for Bobby Iceman. So, and then we got the cat who scares Wolverine.
Yep.
Because, cats versus dogs.
Well, cats and dogs, you know what I mean? Another fun little commentary secret. So those were practical claws he had out.
They were what?
Practical claws he had out.
Practical
that the
claws.
cat licks.
Okay.
Do you know what they put on those?
What?
They put a little iced tea on the end of it to make the cat drink it. So the cat will lick it up.
Why iced tea?
I don't know. But the commentator's like, yeah, we used the frozen tea. It was frozen tea. I don't know.
So that's what from later in the scenes when he freezes the tea in his mom's cup.
Maybe that's where they got the
cat
idea.
goes to lick it.
Yeah.
Why do cats like iced tea? We'll never know. And then his parents walk in.
Yeah.
And they're like, who the fuck are you?
You're like, hey. You're not supposed to be here. And then Bobby Iceman runs down. He's like, oh, Mr. and Mrs. Iceman. This is Professor Logan. Mm-hmm. And they're like, what do you teach? And he's like, sex ed. I don't remember what he said. Did he say biology? I don't remember what he says.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what was before this, though? Before the William Stryker scene? Was Mystique in the bar with the
guard. We did miss the bar scene.
Yep. So we can actually just go over that one and then straight to the prison scene after that.
Oh, dope.
I think they flow together.
Is that just how that goes together?
Yeah, it flows.
Okay.
Flows nicely.
So on the TV screen in the bar, in the bar we see the guard who was giving Maggie the business.
Yeah.
On the TV, we see Hank McCoy talking, who's Beast.
We see who talking?
Hank McCoy, Dr. Hank McCoy. That's Beast.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a nice little Easter egg.
I believe Kelsey Grammer plays him in the next movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's not Kelsey Grammer this time though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not cool.
He's not watching Frasier. So they talk about Dr. Hank McCoy. He's like, listen, the mutant problem is not a problem. It's all good. All good in the hood, as the kids say, is what Dr. Hank McCoy says.
Yeah. As the kids say.
Yeah. And then he's like, man, turn that trash off. And then this like really attractive girl is like, ha, I hear that. Let's get drunk. And then he's like, that's not suspicious. Let's do it.
Yep. And
then she brings over beer and she's like, cheers, clink, hands it to him. He takes a drink and we see two little pills in the bottom of it.
Yep. That don't dissolve. Somehow
they
just
don't
stay
work
on the bottom.
until his last sip.
Yep.
So they go to this bathroom stall. And then he's like, it's kind of dirty in here. And she's like, isn't that the point?
Haha, so sexy.
I don't know why I use my Anna Paquin voice.
Isn't that the point?
Mr. Iceman?
It's like, I've never hooked up with a girl like you before. And she's like, I know.
Ha, you haven't.
I can tell.
And then she's like, people like you were the reason I was afraid to go to school as a child.
Oh.
And then they cheers. And then he's like, bottoms up, drinks it. Then passes out, and then she's like, yeah, sounds good, and puts his bottom up.
Yep.
Right? I don't know if that's actually how that happened.
I feel like it might be, actually.
And she takes out this comically large syringe. Massive syringe.
It's terrifying.
With like 2 pounds of what turns out to be iron in it, and injects it into his spine.
Which would kill him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Sure would. So
but he's fine.
He goes into work the next day.
And he's having a pretty good day.
He strolls in and the guy's like, what up? And he's like, about to bring this mutie his lunch. I don't know if that's a slur or not.
Mutie?
Yeah.
I think it is. He just said it's like mud blood.
Mutt blood.
Mutt blood.
He's about to bring this mutie his lunch. And he's like, step on the scanner. And the scanner's like, I don't know about that.
I don't know about this guy. He's got some blood cells in
he's
there.
He's like, there's more iron in his diet. And then,
and then the
scanner's like, he's probably fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I feel like at that point they'd be like, let's see what's in the food. You know what I mean? Because like,
you never know.
I don't know. I mean, there's so many points here where like the ball was dropped by 8 people to get to that point.
Yep.
Because again, there was no no metal detectors on the way down to this government facility.
The thing is, that guy would be dead. With how much iron is in his body. If a metal detector can call that out.
Why didn't Mystique just go in there as him? Why didn't she just like tie him up and put him in a trunk? And then go in there?
Wow. Why didn't she?
She can turn it into an object. Why did she just turn to the lunch tray? Have that guy bring her right in?
She should have just become the iron.
Yeah.
In his blood.
Injected herself into that guy's bloodstream. So the guy, against everyone's better judgment, they open the bridge, let the guy go back, and then Manuel's like, "There's something special about you today, boy."
He like has a little smile.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, it's lunchtime," and he's like, "There's something different about you today." Well, I was having a good day.
And he's like, "Well, I got some last night." Thank you very much.
No, it's something else. There's too much iron in your blood.
Let me fix that for you. Rips it out.
Yep, it was horrifying.
Yep. In my notes it says guy gets gnarly murked.
Gnarly murked.
Which I don't think there's a better way to describe that.
That sounds like the title of our episode. Gnarly murked. Xmen 2, X2 United, Electric Bugaloo, gnarly murked. There you go.
Hey, rolls right off the tongue. And then he uses that to make a bunch of little like metal ping pong balls that just tear this place apart. I like
that
this
scene was awesome.
Too. Yeah,
it was really cool.
If I liked the setup better, I would have loved that entire scene. But the whole him walking in with a pound of iron in his blood, I was like, listen,
stupid.
I don't know. However, once
cool,
he's back to form,
and then he
cool.
puts it on like a thin makes a little thing that he can stand on and float.
Yeah,
that was so dope. That was so cool.
Yep.
And then he murks those other dudes too.
Yeah.
Literally sends bullets everywhere.
Yeah.
And then he leaves.
My note here says, he's back, baby.
Baby. So Nightcrawler and Storm are bonding on the ship.
Again, where are they flying to?
I don't know. Who's to say? They are just going on a trip in their little rocket ship.
X-Men!
Zooming through the sky. Little X guys. You're welcome.
I want to retire, I think.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So in my notes, I don't know. I appreciated his character. I liked what has a cool like moral philosophy and everything. I was like, you're different. That's cool.
Yeah.
I said I like Nightcrawler, and then literally right after I write that, he says, "Someone so beautiful should not be so angry."
Wow.
And I said, "Oh, never mind." God, no. And then she was like, sometimes to survive, like, you have to use anger to survive or something. He says, or you can use faith.
And then she says, "Storm smash," and then
he dies.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Rip Nightcrawler. Press F. Then we go back to Bobby.
Okay.
And
he's telling his parents he's a mutant, and the mom says,
"Have you tried not being a mutant?"
That's a great Boston accent.
Thanks. Does she have a Boston accent?
No.
No.
But she doesn't have that accent.
Is it not Southern?
I don't think
she was kind of Southern. Either way, have you tried not being a mutant?
Yeah, so
have you tried?
In the graphic novel run of Iceman, his little solo graphic novel, they have a scene where he comes out as homosexual to Kitty Pryde, and they cut that interlaced with scenes about him coming out as a mutant to his parents.
Gotcha.
And I like the way that was handled a lot. And I don't know how it happens not in that series. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I did like the way that kind of felt the same way. I don't know if it was handled as well there or whatnot, or if that's what they were trying to evoke, but I did like that kind of felt the same tone. You know what I mean? Especially,
it's really cool that they did that in the comics.
Especially a line like that where she's like, "Have you tried not being a mutant?" Like that was, I liked that they were still kind of keeping that theme.
Yeah, but it felt so forced to me.
Yes.
And that line was so cringy.
Yeah, but there's times where I appreciate that they're trying to go for it. You know what I mean? It makes it times like that where they do, where it kind of stands out more in a bad way because they don't always. But like that scene, I did appreciate that they kind of went for it.
Appreciate the effort, but I don't know.
Execution iffy, but I appreciate they went for it.
It feels less genuine because there's so little effort put into it, though.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not really a fan. That whole scene was very like, I don't know how this could happen though. Like the dialogue was very reminiscent of that.
Yeah. Like it's clear that's what they were trying to evoke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
then it's like Pyro said we found out it runs through the male gene, so it's actually his fault.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, and then they killed him. Mm-hmm. Snapped his neck. They were like, "You did this to my son, to my boy,
my boy,
to my boy."
And then Bobby's younger brother calls the fucking
police. Was it Ronnie? It was a little shit name like that. It was something like that. Ronnie.
Yep. Ronnie calls the police.
Yeah, and he's like, "There's people in my house.
They won't let us leave."
And then an entire SWAT militia shows up.
It's amazing.
I mean, you can tell the Boston PD has nothing else to do this fine Saturday afternoon. There's not like a jet in low space clearance or anything.
They're fine. I mean, unless Ronnie told them that they were mutants.
Would the entire police force react that heavily, though?
I think they would if they said the mutants were like holding them hostage.
Maybe, I guess.
There's such like a fear-mongering thing going on that I think they would probably do that.
So we have... Yeah, so they step outside because Wolverine, like the Wolverine he is, he smells and scents everybody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wolverine senses. Yeah, and so they're like, he's like, we have to leave. And
he sees him like running across the tree line, and then he walks outside. And then that cop is like, drop your knives. He's like, I can't. Look, holds him up. And then this crack shot nails him right in the forehead.
It was amazing.
That guy is so good at his job. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of those things where it's like, oh man, he shot the hero. That sucks. But I was like, guy doesn't get paid enough.
No.
That was such an incredible shot. It's such a tense moment. So many like high stakes of like this bad guy just walked out holding 6 knives.
Man, snaps and claps, dude. Yep, so he goes down, Rogue screams, and then Bobby gets on the ground. And Pyro does not get on the ground, Phil.
No, Pyro says, you know those terrifying mutants you hear about in the news? I'm the worst one. Arguable. There's people way worse than him.
Yep. And then it goes, flame on.
Yeah.
And he becomes a Human Torch.
Yeah, and then he was like, why won't you shoot lightning at me? Are you afraid I'll be directed?
Afraid I'll be directed.
Afraid I'll be directed.
If only you saw the sight gags here at Home Brew.
We've both done the thing. Just color that in with your mind's eye.
Oh my goodness.
And then as he's doing stuff, Rogue lifts up his pant leg, touches it, starts draining his power, starts using his power to get the fire to go down.
Yep. That was pretty cool.
I liked that. Mm-hmm. That was some good Rogue dispatching of a guy that's just out of control.
Yeah, totally.
And then the plane sets down. Right? Doesn't the X-Jet just come like...
the jet comes down.
We forgot about that. Wolverine got a call at some point. Or the little
that's right. They finally get a hold of him in the Boston house, which is when he's calling him.
Yeah, and he's like, we're at the Iceman residence.
Please come soon.
Mr. and Mrs. Iceman aren't being very friendly.
So they get on, he's running, and then the guy who shot him in the skull is in the bushes still. And he's like walking, and Wolverine stops and like looks directly at him.
And the guy's like, hey, we cool. He
keeps going. They get on the jet, and Rogue does not know how to use a goddamn seatbelt.
Which was so weird.
Why can't she use a seatbelt?
Well, because they were flying for a bit, and then they hit turbulence, which is when she started like freaking out with it. But everybody else is like, seatbelt on, and then she's like, guys,
I can't.
Both of mine are innies.
Why is that? I really hope in the third movie there's another seatbelt gag, because...
It's just a running joke.
Why? Why couldn't she do it?
She looks at Wolverine, she's like, it's stuck. And he's like, push the button. And then she's like, it got stuck last time. And he's like, buckle up.
That was rough. And then 2 jets...
They show up. I mean, honestly, if they can detect us, they deserve to catch us.
So they should have let them catch them.
Yeah.
And just die.
I mean, fair is fair. Storm starts using tornadoes, which is super cool.
That was so crazy.
Yeah.
She is amazing.
She destroyed an entire Tri-City area, I'm sure, because there was a dozen tornadoes that just touched down.
Unless, I mean, they probably were already out of Boston because they can fly somewhere in a very short amount of time.
Can they?
I think.
Because they didn't. They were still like... It was like 10 minutes after they talked to Wolverine that they landed at Bobby Drake's house. Sorry, Bobby Iceman's house. I don't know why I keep messing up his last name.
I don't know either. No, there's I want to say they were out of the city by then, just for their sake. I'll give them benefit of the doubt there.
So then again, one fighter pilot who's just so good at their job, that last second clutch, doot, missile launch.
And then she ejects out of the plane, and I know it showed her floating to the ground or whatever.
But she should have just eaten a tornado.
But should. No, that was it for her.
Yeah.
She was super dunzos.
Yep. Someone just ordered a fresh batch of onion rings, and it's all served to her.
Yep.
And then the 2 missiles come out.
And Storm's like, oh god, there's 2 of them.
There's 2 of them, and Jean goes all fire eyes.
That was cool.
Takes one of them, gets it out of there.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And then the other one, she was like, Jean, and she's like, I'm trying. Hits it, and she pulls it up at the last second, but it smacks into the back of the plane.
Yep. Opens up a gaping hole in the back of the ship. It was awesome.
Rogue just tears out of there.
Bobby goes, Rogue!
And Bobby's like, you should have used the seatbelt. Why didn't he just like freeze it shut for her? When she's like, I can't get this, he's not like, hold it shut. And then like freezes it.
A lot of things could have been different in these moments.
Or like, I don't know, Logan like just steps up and like buckles it and sits back down.
At that point, Wolverine could literally just be like holding on to her on his seat or something.
Yeah, but there's that, when they first start like trying to get rid of the missiles, there's that like giant flip they do. Yeah. And then everyone freaks out. And then Bobby's like, don't do that again. Was that Bobby or Logan that says that? Someone's like, don't do that again.
I think it might have been Pyro? I don't know.
I don't remember him having any lines I liked. So that makes me want to say it wasn't Pyro.
Maybe. I don't know. It was one of them. That was good.
So Rogue gone. Nightcrawler zips out, grabs her, zips back in. Taylor, personally, I would describe that as 2 blind jumps.
Yep.
Would you think that's
yes,
fair?
Because he didn't know exactly because the jets are moving so fast that...
And he's looking forward.
Yep.
Not out the back where Rogue just launched out.
Nope, but he teleports out, manages to get her exactly where she is. One shot. And then teleports back into the jet where it wasn't before.
Nope.
Had no idea.
It's been in a free fall.
Yeah. My question. Why didn't you just go on the ground? Rather than back into the crashing aircraft.
He's like, I saved you. Now you're going to die with us.
You have to go down with us.
Well, he couldn't see the ground. He can't make blind jumps.
I feel like you're so right. Oh my god.
So they're crashing down. It's all over for
Just
him.
like this movie.
All of them are going down, right? Oh. And then it stops, much like a train did in the first one. Do you know what has the power to stop a jet? It's Magneto.
It's fucking Magneto. He also repairs the jet's back too.
Yeah, he just like, let me just patch it up for you.
Yeah, fixes their whole jet. That's very nice of him. That was nice.
He's like, I topped off your fluids too. And then we have the exposition campfire.
Yep. Rogue thanks Nightcrawler, and he says, "Bitte Shane."
That's cute.
I was like, okay, sure. That was a cute little scene.
Yeah.
Can you hear what they're saying? I'd like to move closer.
Yeah.
And then, what do they talk about at the campfire?
Everything.
Everything.
She talked about how they're building a second Death Star, but they had a rebel sneak in and get the plans.
Oh, okay.
And then I think he tells them who Jason is. I don't know. They talk about everything.
Yeah.
And then they're at Alkali Base, and then Wolverine's...
Just so everyone's caught up, basically.
Yeah, and Wolverine's like, I was just there, and Mystique's like, you idiot, it's underneath the ground. He's like, I would have smelled it. And then she's like, your scent powers weren't online yet. And he's like, oh, right. I forgot you D-level at the beginning of each video game.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then the gang goes to Alaska.
Before that, there's a scene where Jean's coming out of the plane, and Logan's down there, and he's like, oh, right. Hey. And she's like, oh, hey. And they have tension. And then she's like, you flirt with the dangerous guy, you don't take him home. And then they kiss, and she goes, don't make me do this. And he goes, don't make you do what? And she turns and leaves, and she goes, this. You know, all that fire chemistry they had going on, all these movies culminates in that.
You flirt with the dangerous guy. Why would you flirt with the dangerous guy if you're in a committed relationship, unless you've already set these standards with Scott that it's okay to flirt with other people?
I'm going to flirt with the dangerous guy. I'm not going to take him home. I'm just going to live with him in the giant mansion where you could never find us if we wanted to sneak off for half an hour.
And he's like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, for sure. Like, do whatever you want, Gene.
And she's like, it's okay. I don't gotta tell you to stay away from my girl because otherwise you won't be my girl. And she's like, yeah, totally.
Yeah, and then he's like, stay away from my girl.
Stay away from my girl.
So that's cool.
Then we're not done with this amazing scene because Mystique, I'm sorry, Famke Janssen crawls in on Logan and she's like, hey, let's do this. And he's like, all right. Puts his hand up her shirt, up her tank top, starts sliding it up.
Yeah. From
the inside of the tank top. That's important in a second. Sees the 3 little Poké-Doos from when he stabbed the hell out of her as Storm. right?
Yep.
And then he's like, "You're not Jean or whatever." And then she's like, "I can do whoever you want." Changes into Storm. Changes into Rogue. Changes into Stryker. No, that's later.
Yeah.
And then changes back into Mystique. Where did he just put his hand?
What do you mean?
Was
like inside her body?
Because remember we talked about this in the first one where I said so she can create clothes. And you said I would assume they're just part of her skin. And it looks like those are the clothes. He at least ruffles up the shirt to reveal her stomach region. And there's a part where he slips his hand like up the back of it.
It's going up her skin folds.
Why was he like, why is your tank top so moist and warm?
So maybe she can create matter.
Why?
Because Mystique is OP. I think she needs to be nerfed.
Let's hope it gets fixed by the next patch. Because this game is going downhill.
Yeah, and I thought the Rogue bit was weird. Anyways, I don't know. I thought that...
What, her turning into Rogue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why that was her go-to. I think that was her taunting him more. I don't know. And then she's like, what do you really want? And then turns into Stryker. And then he's like...
Because he specifically got such a weird look when she turned into Rogue. He didn't do that when she turned into Storm.
Because I feel like that one he's like, yeah, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's alright.
And then Rogue, I don't know. I think that it is trying to push a weird... Just an inkling of that. Getting it into the
I think I've
head.
closed myself off to that because I don't want to think that's what they're doing.
I don't either. I'm curious if they do anything, it'll be in the third one. If they like push it anymore.
Gotcha.
We'll see that in the third one.
I think she stays pretty current with Iceman, Bobby Iceman.
Bobby Iceman. Iceman Bobby.
Ice Bobbyman.
Good. Bobby, he's so uninteresting to me.
But he was in Cadet Kelly.
But he was in Cadet Kelly. You right.
So team goes to Alaska.
The gang goes to Alaska.
I paused it here to go to the bathroom.
Sunny theme here.
I paused to go to the bathroom, and there was still an hour left.
This is a long...
It's a long time to still have to go where we are.
Ugh. I didn't have that many notes after this, though.
No, see, here's where I actually... I liked this last scene. It just took too long getting to it,
yeah.
I think. Because there's not anything I would cut here.
Mm-hmm.
Because the pacing of this last hour flies right by. Like, I noticed that there was still an hour, but I didn't feel the last hour, if that makes sense.
Kind of. I definitely did in certain areas. It just depended on the moment and the scene.
I think the Gene and Scott stuff is where it started to drag back for me.
Yeah.
But there was, like, it moved pretty well. So this whole time we have Professor X being led around the X Mansion by this little girl. Right, because that's been happening, hasn't it? Or is this just all start now?
I can't remember. This part like kind of blurs together for me.
That's fair. We'll just talk about it now. So Professor X been being led around by this little girl. She takes him down to Cerebro, and she's like, "You have to find all of them," because she's looking for all the mutants or whatever.
Okay.
I don't think that comes to fruition yet, but that's about what's going on.
I know he like sees the little girl in the hall, and she's like, "I'm scared.
Yeah.
I want to be with you." He's like, "Okay."
He's like, "Hop on my lap."
Hop on my lap. Come, child. And then we see like split imagery between him and Jason. Oh, it's later that William is whispering into his ear, yes. Right? Yeah. Okay. I don't remember how the scene like.
Okay, so they land and they're like, and Logan's like, "I'll walk up the spillway, let you guys in." And Mystique is like. Or no, Magneto's like, it has to be somebody that knows how to operate the spillway. And then he was like, well, they're only going to let me in. And Mystique's like, hey, I'm going to be you. And they're like, all right. So she switches over to him, starts walking on the spillway. And then they see him on the cameras, and they're like, we're going to flood the spillway. And then Stryker's like, don't. That's my boo. I feel cute today. IDK. So they go out there, put him in handcuffs, walk him in. And then Stryker's like, I know my animal, and that ain't it. Shoot in the head.
Wow.
Which I don't get where that came from.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I know my animal.
So she turns back into Mystique, just the one arm, breaks out of the handcuffs, messes all these guys up.
Yep.
Does a front flip, lands, slides backwards while flipping off an entire room.
There was no force going into that slide, Phil.
No, there was not.
No.
It was standing front flip into the slide.
Yep. And then she just slides backwards Because apparently that's what her power set as well.
You mean like when she did an inverted pole climb
Yeah.
with just her hands?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that Mystique is the most powerful X-Men.
Probably.
Powerful mutant in the world.
She could be like, look, my hand is a bag of money. Take some. And then turn back in. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, what happens to the money if she... What happens to the clothes that she takes off when she's...
Oh boy. So Mystique infiltrates.
I made a sad comment and I was like, I can't wait for Yuriko to kick Stryker's ass.
Oh.
So I just assumed that was going to happen.
Oh yeah, because there's a part where he's like, for someone who hates mutants, you sure like having one, and he's like, it depends on how they're controlled, and then Yuriko like gets put back under.
Yep.
Because there's that scene where she like starts shaking out of it. So you see the color of her eyes change.
Yep. And so I was like, oh, so Yuriko's definitely going to be able to like turn back and get onto the side of the mutants, right, Phil?
Nope.
No? Oh. Okay.
She has something funner coming on.
Gotcha.
So then we have Patrick still being controlled. And I think by this point they're heading towards Cerebro.
Yeah.
Because this is when Stryker is like, we're going to finish it. So he takes him there. And that's when he's like, find the mutants, find all of them. And then Jason says it to them.
I think that's a little bit later. But yeah. Because I remember there's also the scene where Jean is walking around and then Scott appears.
That's later.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we have that scene where after Mystique opens the spillway, all the people come in. And then they find her there because that's when they're all talking about what they're gonna do, and then Logan splits off.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
P.S. William Stryker, quality villain name.
Yeah, I like it.
William Stryker.
Because you know he will.
Yeah, he'll Stryker.
Right.
You know it.
So yeah, we're gonna start just jumping around. This is gonna kind of go Statue of Liberty style, where we just kind of rapid fire things.
Apparently, that's just the style of these movies for
us. So Logan splits off at some point. There's that cool scene where Stryker like locks Jason and Professor X in the second Death Star, and he was like, "If anybody comes this way, shoot him, even if it's me."
Yep.
I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's leaving, and then he gets cut off by. I don't remember why, but he ends up in the room where we've seen all the Wolverine flashbacks, and they see that like bubbling adamantine pool, and then Logan's looking at it, and then we hear Stryker, and he's like, the thing about adamantium is if you're ever able to melt it, you got to keep it hot, for some reason.
Yeah.
So that's
is adamantium like a real thing, or is that a made up metal?
I literally could not tell you. Literally no idea. So we have. Oh yeah, then Yuriko was like standing by him, and he was like, Wolverine used to think you're one of a kind. Not anymore. And then Yuriko steps out. Puts up her claws, throws her nails out, and they turn into Wolverine claws. Which don't seem very practical.
No, they do not. They would hurt her nail beds real bad.
Well, she doesn't feel pain because she's made of adamantium.
She's made out of it entirely.
Yeah, I don't know. So they start fighting. I dug this scene. I did. I liked this fight scene a lot.
Yeah.
It was funny because I liked how they both weren't affecting each other that much.
I really liked it because he saw her healing too.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, this stakes.
Yeah, well, because it's one of those things where they're going to keep fighting until somebody loses, but there's no clear way to make them lose. I like that kind of fight.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then like later on, she has him like stuck in that metal bed and is like stabbing the heck out of him from the bottom. And then he like cuts the chain and like drops her into the pool. They start fighting. He reaches over, grabs the adamantium hose, sticks it in her somewhere, floods it, and then as she starts like getting full of it, you see her eyes flicker back, and Wolverine's like,
"Ooh,
oh yeah." She falls and it goes, "Punk."
That was a sad.
Yeah,
I was sad.
She's entirely adamantium now.
Yep. P.S. Just looked it up. Adamantium is a fictional alloy.
Oh,
metal
good.
alloy. Not real. In case anyone was, afraid of that.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't want to get turned into adamantium.
Phew!
And then around here is where Jean's walking, and then Scott steps out.
Gotcha. Although also, I want to pause, because Yuriko, I looked up, because I wanted to make sure I knew her name and everything correctly, because I think he said it one time.
Yep.
Because obviously not important.
I remember her name being Lady Deathstrike, but I don't know if they ever said that in the movie.
They never said that in the movie.
Okay.
So I looked it up, because I was curious about her, And the first one that came up was Jubilee, who's going to be in a later thing. But Lady Deathstrike was what she was based off of, who was like Wolverine's like arch nemesis, pretty much, because she was like an equal fighter with him, and she was willingly doing these genetic engineering and like upgrades for her body essentially for all of this, which was pretty interesting. And her father was Lord Darkwind, which is
one more time.
Lord Darkwind.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yep. Who was the creator of the adamantium binding process. So my thought was that William Stryker was supposed to be some kind of like reference to that, kind of. At least like a play in it, because I assume they wouldn't have Lord Darkwind in the movies.
Well, nobody could handle Lord Darkwind.
Right, so it was like a way to incorporate that almost.
He's definitely mixed with William Stryker from an arc called God Loves, Man Kills, which we'll talk about towards the end.
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm going to go on for a while about that. I don't want that to interrupt the movie.
Right, so. Gotcha. But yeah, just thought that was a nifty little thing.
It is a nifty little thing.
Nifty little thing.
So Jean's walking. Scott steps out, and Jean's like, "Oh, hey, what up, Scott?" And Scott's like, "Yo, boosh! Concussion blast!" Boosh.
And then she like throws him away, basically.
Yeah, she like stops the blast, throws it back at him, and then he's gone.
And then she calls for him. She's like, "Scott."
She's like, "My bad, dude. I'm sorry. I thought we were fighting." Like,
girl, he's not better already. Like,
yeah. And then Scott rolls up. He's like, "I'm so sorry. I could see it was you, but I couldn't stop myself." So you guys fought for like 10 seconds. You guys have done more to each other in the danger room, I'm sure. You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Probably.
We have Storm and Nightcrawler who have made their way to, like, find the mutant kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then we have Magneto and Mystique who are on their way to, like, stop... They're on their way to, like, blow up the second Death Star.
Yep.
We get that cool scene with those other guards outside of Cerebro.
Yep, and they try to blow it up.
Well, he pulls on the pins, which I was like, oh. And they're all fumbling trying to get the lock on it, and that one guy can't. He like butterfingers it like Rogue.
Oof. Butterfingers.
And they just all blow up, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a big old yikes. Yeah. I'm just like, open when I come back here.
Yeah.
Well.
So we get Nightcrawler helps Storm get a bunch of the kids out of the cells.
Yeah, I don't know where they take them.
With them for a while, because I don't remember. Is it Magneto and Mystique that get to Cerebro before Storm does?
Yes, because Magneto is like rebuilding.
Yeah, he rebuilds it, and then
Cerebro,
then he's like find the humans instead.
And then Jason tries to like read his mind.
Yeah, but he does like, I got this dope helmet, get out of there.
I still don't know why the helmet stops them from reading his mind.
Because it's whatever stuff they use for Cerebro. It's
a special kind of metal, essentially. Yeah. Okay, all right, fine.
So, yeah, so that happens and they leave, and then Storm and Nightcrawler get there eventually, and she was like, "You got to put me in there," and then Nightcrawler's like, "I don't do blind jumps." I've done it twice so far at least, but I don't do that. And
Phil, you can't make him do it. Don't pressure him to do the blind jumps.
He's not doing it. Okay, they know it's Cerebro. They know that it's Cerebro.
They know what it looks like. They know the layout.
Storm knows so bad what Cerebro looks like. She can be like, port me like 80 feet in there, and then we'll just correct because it's a giant empty ball. You know what I mean? Like, Mystique, I'm sure, was like, these are specifications. Everyone's like, oh, that's just Cerebro. You know what I mean? I don't get why...
No, there was no good reason.
There's this whole act of faith thing.
Yep.
And then she's like, it's going to make it really cold in here. Just don't make it cold around Nightcrawler.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Gotta do the whole thing.
He does a couple Our Fathers, jumps in there. They fix everything. They Spartan kick Jason off the Cerebro. Yep. That's not how they fix it. I don't remember how they fix it.
Well, she does a big old storm thing, and then Jason's little girl gets really freaked out by it. Yeah. And then...
she's like, I'm telling Mommy.
I'm telling Mom. Snaps out of it. Do they kill Jason?
I don't remember.
I cannot remember. Woof.
I don't think they kill him. I think he dies. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so they let Professor X out.
not a huge moment, I guess.
Well, see, here's my thing. I want to see the scene where they have to, like, navigate 2 wheelchairs across this walkway.
I don't want to see that.
And then we have a couple scenes outside. First, Magneto and Mystique get to Stryker. Oh, no. Wolverine gets out there first and, like, ties the chain to him. And he's like, go back in for the kids.
And then he holds this one kid forever.
Yeah.
He's carrying this one kid.
Even with him when he's, like, about to go yell at him. Well, that
kid can walk.
That's later.
Is it?
Yeah. So he goes, because remember, he ties him to the helicopter first. And then Mystique and Magneto come out, and then Magneto, like, takes the helicopter. Mm-hmm. And then ties him, and then, like, puts Stryker halfway into a wall, and he's like, just stay there. Wolverine comes out later, and he's like, guys, I swear to God, this is where we parked. But it's okay, because Rogue and Bobby Iceman bring the jet over. Yeah. And land.
NBD, yo.
Yeah. At this time, they have all the kids with them. They've all escaped. I believe everything in Alkali Base is done. And they start taking off, but it's not working. And then everyone's freaking out. And then Jean goes outside by herself without telling anybody. And Scott's like, wait, goes to it. The door shuts. So
we're missing at one point the fact that the dam is breaking, right?
Yeah, I think... Was it Cyclops' blast that did it?
I think it might have been because they're, like, closing doors to try to stop the water from coming in. Yeah. And at one point, they just stare at the closing door with the water surging towards them. Yeah, like... Why do people never run in movies?
I don't know.
And you can go. You don't have to wait. I know it's cool and all. And that's when he, like, carries the kid somewhere.
Yeah, and he is holding the kid the entire time he talks to Stryker. And the kid's like, I can go.
But then he sticks his tongue out at Stryker.
Yeah.
Call back.
Yeah, to the little girl with the ice cream cone.
Nice.
Okay, so Jean goes outside.
Because they can't start the ship.
Yeah,
it's all broken. And then she decides she has to walk outside of the ship in order to start it back up.
Here's the thing. She uses her telekinesis. I don't know what to call it.
Telekinesis.
She goes outside, closes the door. She starts flipping switches and, like, pulling up on the throttle and, like, engaging other ship controls from outside. You could just do that in there.
Yes, she could have.
With your hands.
Yeah.
You don't even have to get all fancy mind powers with it. You could just go over there and be like, hey,
they weren't turning on. Was the issue. Like, the ship's power was not turning back on.
What else changed?
Her mind powers, like, affect electricity and, like, power surges and
stuff. Then do that from inside.
That's what I know. That's what I'm saying,
Hey, Storm, strike the engine with a bolt of lightning. I don't
know why. Like, she couldn't have immediately just, like, lifted the thing off the ground.
I don't know. And then she starts,
why did she have to be outside to do this thing she could have done inside?
She, like, starts lifting it, but again, she could do that from inside.
She could have blocked the water from inside, probably.
She could have done a lot of things from inside.
She did not have to sacrifice herself.
Yeah. And then, like, jump out there and get her.
She just wants attention.
And Nightcrawler's like, she's blocking my port, which I'm glad they kind of, I don't know, explained that. However, wouldn't it have been cool if, like, back at the Boston church when Nightcrawler fell down and she grabbed him, if he tried to pour it away and she was like, I can stop that.
That would have been a cool...
That way, you know, we build up to that, not just in the moment have to explain why he's not doing it.
Oh, Phil.
I'm just saying.
That's such a good point.
So... Anyways, so now
that would have taken care of my issue with that scene.
Oh, it'll come. That same issue will come back later. Don't worry.
Oh,
so
cool.
So then the ship lifts, water breaks, she gets carried away.
Yep.
Go get her from underwater. Just boom, grab her body.
Oh, like Nightcrawler?
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't know where she is under the water.
Oh, can he not do blind jumps?
Okay, but that's different.
It is not.
I feel
she got sucked up into the sky. She got pushed with water. It's the same thing.
I guess. Because he just literally didn't see where she was. He just found her, sensed her in the distance. Oh, you're right. Well, you know. It would ruin the story, Phil.
So the water is about to come, and then Professor X is like, Scott, it's okay. It's the only way. And then Scott's like, Jean?
Yeah.
Which I would have been right
before the water broke.
I would have been like, X, why are you talking like that? And then Logan's like, Scott, that's the girl we love. We got to go get her. I don't know. though. There's so much with that scene that like if they had built a better relationship, it would have been so nice when like Scott collapses on him. It would have been great to have that be more of an emotional payoff.
If I cared about any of these relationships at all. I care about Rogue, I think.
Rogue as a character or Rogue and Bobby Iceman?
Definitely.
Because I just want those kids to make it.
They're just kids, so I'm always rooting for the kids. I hate kids being thrown into situations like this because they don't deserve this. I think the only relationship I really care about is Rogue and Wolverine. Yeah. Just like as a dynamic.
Rogue and Wolvo.
That's the only one.
Yeah. Okay, so the ship takes off. Oh, at some point, Pyro joined with Magneto.
Yeah, so at one point, like, that's where the jet was, because that's what it was. Pyro, like, stole the jet with Magneto. Pyro stole the jet with Magneto and Mystique, and they escaped, and that's when Logan was like, I swear it was just here.
I thought that was, like, the military helicopter. I didn't think that was the X-jet.
It wasn't the X. They stole an aircraft. A thing.
Okay.
And that's when Pyro joined them.
Yeah.
So that's what happened there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, Pyro's gone. Who cares? Everybody but us, probably. I don't know. So Pyro's with them. And then I think they go back to the X mansion. And then Logan's like, hey man, sorry she's gone.
Right.
And I feel so bad for Scott, where this creepy guy that's been hitting on his wife is like, oh man,
we're going through whatever they
we're going through such like a hard loss right now.
Although Scott does have that moment on the jet when he like collapses into Wolverine after they lose her, and like they have like a
it didn't do it for me.
Brotherly bonding moment.
It didn't do it for me.
No.
Just because like like I said, at this movie, if they had stepped away from that aspect, like if they didn't have that like airplane kiss, like if they didn't touch that scene in the woods, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
But that's where that moment got taken away from me. Is it's like that never stopped, and that like Logan isn't like, oh Scott, you're going through such hurt. He's like, oh man, we both lost Jean.
Feel things equally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of kills it for me. I don't remember a lot of
James Marsden almost had it there for me, but
I don't remember this wrap up at all. I don't remember what happens between now and end credits.
Honestly, same. All I remember is that there is like, oh, they go to the president. They go to the White House.
Oh, that whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: when they can't get the plane to start,
yeah,
wouldn't it have been great if Professor X just stopped time?
Yeah, when can he not stop time for mutants? Or like, maybe he needs full power and concentration to do it?
Did he not have that on the plane?
Probably because he was still recovering from everything that happened in the underground area.
Why didn't he stop time when he realized that gas was coming into the prison cell?
Maybe he can only stop humans and not like natural events. I'm making excuses for them.
So anyways, the White House is about to do an anti-mutant speech, and they're like, listen guys, we have a immunity problem.
Yep.
Lights go out.
There's a big old storm outside.
Ooh, there's a little old storm inside too. Lightning strikes, and there's just a mutant gallery.
Yeah.
And he's like, listen, we're not threatening you, but we could kick your ass.
We're also threatening you.
He's like, our dads could kick your dad's ass. That's all I'm trying to say. Gives them a blue folder. They leave.
He said that earlier, where you can like shape the lives of where we are as the turning point in human history and everything. And so he's like, make the choices. He got it from Stryker's like private records or something. That was in the folder. So it was like information the president had never seen. He's like, make the right choice. And then Wolverine is like, we'll be watching.
Bub.
And then they disappear.
Yeah.
Woof, and then
live TV picks back up.
Yep.
And the president's holding a blue folder he
wasn't holding. I was like, nobody noticed that suddenly this thing appeared? Okay, sure.
I mean, who's checking the continuity on that? The people from the first X-Men movie? Give me some. Thank you.
That just makes me upset.
Yeah.
So then the president has a change of heart in that time of literally less than 2 seconds that they give him to think about things. I don't remember what he says, but it's basically like...
He's like, guys, maybe mutants aren't so bad after all.
Mutants are fine.
Yeah.
JK, we're all good.
We cut back to Alkali Lake, and we hear Jean Grey doing the first monologue. Or the first professor's monologue from the first movie.
Was it the same monologue?
It sounded really... I think
it might have been slightly changed, but I forgot to go back and check if it was the same.
But then she's like, sometimes evolution jumps forward 1,000 years, and it shows the shadow in the water as the phoenix.
It looked like angel wings or something, yeah.
But it's supposed to be a phoenix.
It's supposed to be a phoenix.
Roll credits. Pause. Mm-hmm. So, 2003. My dad and I are in the theater. He's on my left. I'm sitting here. There's a guy on my right. Okay? This guy leans over 10-year-old Phil, looks at my dad and goes, do you know what they're doing? And my dad goes, what? Because I don't think he read like comics that like heavily. I know he had like a giant collection, but I don't know if he read like.
Okay, yeah.
But he was like, no, what? And the guy, again, 10-year-old Phil is in between my dad and this guy, and he goes, fucking Dark Phoenix.
And that influenced your life forever, Phil.
My dad goes, nice. And he goes, yeah, man, they're going to do it. They're going for it. They're going for Dark Phoenix. And my dad's like, okay.
Nice.
Stop talking to my son.
Your dad sounds awesome.
So he's a good guy. So then I went home and I was like, what's this whole Dark Phoenix thing? And my dad was like, well, a lot of this stuff isn't based on
I'm sorry,
other
Phil,
comics.
you said that wrong. It's fucking
Dark Phoenix, man. So he's like, a lot of this stuff is based on like comic stuff, so it's probably drawing from a story in the comics, right? So I looked into it and actually read Dark Phoenix.
Nice.
Super good.
Okay.
Real good. Dark Phoenix Saga is phenomenal.
Cool. I'm curious to check it out.
Yeah. You should. It's phenomenal. Anyways, though. That was my story about how I started looking into other comic books. It's because my dad was like, sometimes the stuff is based on comic books. And
That's
I was
really cool.
No way.
That one guy changed your life forever.
He did. The guy who just dropped a hard F-bomb in front of a 10-year-old really shaped me as a human.
He speaks to me.
He spoke to me aggressively.
Yeah, so obviously that leads into Phoenix, third movie.
Xmen 3, The Last Stand.
Woo!
It's the theme song.
Yeah. It's not as good as ours, but
no, of course not.
Yeah. What did you think?
Closing thoughts. I still really like this.
Talking about it didn't lessen my opinion of it like the first one.
This one I feel like is one I'd actually watch again.
Yeah, that's what I actually wrote down too.
I've been thinking about like if Eric and Morgan ever want to join into this, it's like, well, we got to have them rewatch the first ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if, for example, Eric wants to come in next week for 3, we'd have to be like, oh, you have to watch 1 and 2 and then 3.
Yeah.
If someone I knew was like, oh, I want to watch these with you, I'd be like, oh, we gotta watch X-Men, but I'll watch X2 with you.
Yeah.
You know, I would sit down and watch this again with somebody.
I would watch the first one again, I think.
I could watch that probably one more time, but this one I feel like I could
sit down, like, a lot. Yeah, like if this was on TV or something, I'd put it on in the background probably, just like chill and watch it.
Yeah. I feel like the first X-Men movie I put on to watch other people see the ridiculous stuff that we got mad about the first time.
I can't wait for the third one because apparently it's going to be worse.
Oh, girl. This one I'd probably put on to like watch with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's that distinct difference for me. And like this, I feel like the pacing was so much better. I know it was longer and it felt long in some areas, but the pacing had still improved.
Yes, I agreed. So like I did not feel like anything dragged on at the first movie for some reason. Maybe it's just because there was so much happening and they had to explain so much.
See, I don't know if it was that anything in the first movie dragged on. It took a long time to start doing stuff.
I just think, it was just ridiculous. But the second one, overall,
there was a lot of
you're
empty scenes,
right.
I guess is a better way to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Each scene, something was happening in this movie. There was nothing, like, for example, the 2-hour runtime, there's not a lot I can think of to cut out, other than, like, the Gene and Scott stuff, like, at the end, their little fight scene. I think a lot of that stuff could have probably been changed, but especially for the first, like, 2 acts of this movie, there wasn't anything that I was like, it didn't have to be there.
Yeah.
It could have been, reordered to be flowing a little bit better, but there wasn't, like, any dead air.
Because, I have some issues with certain, like, the splicing of those certain scenes and, like, placement, basically. But overall, I enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
Overall, I enjoyed it. I gave it, like, a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I guess if we're doing 5 stars, I do like 3 out of 5. 3.5 out of 5.
So last time you gave Xmen 1 a 3 out of 10 and said about a 70%.
A 3 out of 10?
You said 3 out of 10. And then later on said probably like a 70%.
Well, originally I was like 7 out of 10, and then I was like 6 out of 10. Maybe 5. And then I kept going down. Okay. It was bad. The first one I probably would give like... like a 5.5, maybe 6 out of 10, maybe. Okay. This one I'd probably give like a 7.5.
Okay.
Out of 10.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Okay. I'm probably about the same area. It's not upper echelon yet.
No,
but it's not. It's not bad by any means.
No, for sure. Like I would watch it again. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd probably put this around 3.5 stars out of 5.
Yeah. Yep. That's about where I'm at.
Yeah.
I mean, so we've got a hefty list.
Okay.
Now we have to put it on. You know?
From the top of the XCU, we have number 1, Xmen. 2001? I don't know. Xmen 1?
Xmen 1?
And now, boy, we have something else to place.
I know. Are we going to put it number 1 or number 2?
Well, here, it's absolutely number 1 for me.
Yeah, no,
okay.
absolutely.
So it's funny because I understand that we're now pushing things lower. Like that's obviously how the list is supposed to go. But I'm excited to see how this plays out because I'm really curious how long this stays the best movie.
Right, because obviously the next one is not gonna supersede it, and then what comes after that? Origins.
Yeah. And
I've only heard negative things about that.
I'm sorry.
I think First Class is the next movie that has like decently high ratings that I saw.
Yeah, but I know you don't like that one, right?
No, I don't. But I'm willing to go into it with an open mind and see if it can change my mind. We'll see. But yeah, I put it number 1 on my list so far.
Okay.
Number 1, Xmen.
Number 1,
2, X2, United, Electric, Bugaloo. What did you say?
I said number 1 with a bullet. You don't have to listen to me. I'm sorry. Bullet,
yeah. And number 2.
Xmen 1? 2000?
Yeah.
So what I was saying before is this was in part based off of a series of issues called God Love Man Kills. God Loves Man Kills. And it follows a lot of the same beats, but William Stryker is more of like a religious like zealot. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that was obviously changed for more of the military background. I think it was probably mixing what you were talking about with the... Yeah,
and I definitely... Because you told me a little bit about
Lord
this.
Dark Whisper, or whatever
Lord Darkwind.
Yeah, that's what Darkwind...
You told me a little bit about this comic arc earlier, before we recorded, and I definitely think that's where the major... obviously, like, name and everything, major inspiration came from this. I just think that was like a tie-in to the Lord Darkwind and everything. And
it's probably to pull in more characters. They probably saw Wolverine was selling well, and they were like, "Oh, let's get a female Wolverine in there. Yeah. She's kind of one." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of that is where that came from.
It'd be cool if they'd actually delved into that character a little bit and like, not just had her die immediately and explored it.
Apparently, there's a cut Toad and Nightcrawler fight.
It's what?
There was a cut Toad and Nightcrawler fight.
Oh.
In the Alkali base, which would have been interesting. Huh. My thing though was there was. I also heard that they wanted Sabretooth to come back, but then the script felt too bloated, which makes sense. I would not like to have seen either of them come back.
No, absolutely
not. But I'm not sure how they would have made Toad... Well, I guess they could have just had him mind-controlled by Stryker. Never mind. I forgot that was a thing that exists.
Yeah.
Never mind. Rescinded. Yeah, that would have been a cool fight, probably.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm glad they didn't bring that
back
in.
This...
They made good cuts, I think.
Yeah, I think anything else would have made this movie...
Too much?
Yeah.
Essentially. Because they did try to fit in a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah.
But it managed to make it work. I just think it was delicate, kind of.
For sure.
Yeah.
We did it. We have ranked officially 2 X-Men movies.
Woo! All right, we're all done now, right?
Yep. Only like 9 more to go.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, can't wait to watch this 3rd movie with you, Phil. Not with you, but in spirit. All
right, well, this is Phil.
This is Taylor.
And this was Home Brew with the Movies. If you liked it, we have gameplay stuff on our YouTube channel with our other friends. I think right now Taylor and I are actually doing Doki Doki Literature Club, which is
Doki Literature Club.
Pretty fun. You get to hear us voice act and just also still crack each other up while there's a game in front of it. So that's fun.
Literally, just the whole thing is just us making each other laugh the whole time.
Which, if somehow we make you laugh, we'll make each other laugh, and that would just line up so well.
And then you would laugh so hard that you'd accidentally hit the subscribe button. And
that'd be crazy. And then, ring that bell so you get the notifications.
Ring that bell.
And then, you'd, lean over laughing and accidentally smash that like button. Smash it.
But, I mean, only if it happens by accident. I wouldn't expect
we want it to happen naturally. We're not trying to force anything here.
Not like a Jean Grey and Logan romance, right?
Yeah, we don't want a Doki Doki X-Men, Taylor and Phil love triangle going on.
All right, well, thanks so much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it and hope to see you again.
Peace out.